Music Radio.
Greetings, Earthlings, starseeds, snake people, and metalheads. This is Sagan and Nick from the band Hail Sagan.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. We had so much fun last week.
Yeah, I love the music we selected, and tonight's music is good too. And don't forget that our new animated lyric video for our song Inner Metal was released this week on YouTube.
So check it out and let us know what you think.
Thanks to my brother from another mother, Bear, at Gunn Music Radio for hosting us. We'll be here every Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern.
There's so many bands out there, some new, some old, some under a rock. We're gonna play all of them.
If you have a favorite song that you want to hear, send us a message on Instagram at Hail Sagan Official and we'll give it a listen. If it fits with our theme, we'll spin it and we'll give you a shout out.
Tonight's show is a follow-up from last week, like finding out why Sagan peed the bed.
It'll also include news about potential alien life in our oceans.
And dreams, music, and badass movies that we find.
Let's get started with our favorite band, Hail Sagan! And then we'll roll into Watain and Melvin.
Woo! Here we go.
Shot.
to Obscure Oasis with Sagan and Nick.
Hey, we're back. We just listened to Hyper Fantastic by Hail Sagan, The Howling by Watain, and Joan of Arc by the Melvins. Now let's talk about some aliens under the sea.
Alrighty, so 5 small metal orbs containing otherworldly materials have been found on the seafloor. Apparently, the composition of these materials don't match anything that's ever been found on Earth, including like meteors and all that.
Except for the ingredients in McDonald's French fries.
You got me on that one. A Harvard scientist and his team of Harvard researchers went on an expedition to find these materials in Papua New Guinea, of course. Because where else would it be? It wouldn't be like in New York City or anything easy. It has to be far away. And you know, they found an unidentified interstellar object that entered Earth's atmosphere back in 2014. It plunged into the ocean. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody bothered. And this Harvard scientist was like, maybe we should be checking that out, you know?
And then he went back to scrolling on TikTok.
Yeah. The recorded velocity had this object projecting from outside of the solar system, like outside of our known solar system. This thing was projecting from like a totally other place that we don't typically get any kind of objects from, including like meteorites and stuff like that. So this was like, you know, a little odd, but of course the United States government, with what did we say last week? Was it like $2 trillion in taxes? Didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So nobody cared. This thing's dumping into the ocean and it's laying at the bottom of the seafloor. Yeah. The object is named IM-1.
One badass motherfucker.
They found 700 spheres, little metal spheres on the ocean floor. Nobody gave a shit. And when this object landed, it dispersed, and only 5 of what they picked up were considered like unusual enough to raise eyebrows. I think the whole damn thing was pretty fucking unusual, but I'm not getting paid $2 trillion to analyze any of this stuff. So who am I to say, right?
Well, with anything with these guys, you have to add a couple zeros to whatever they say. So 5.
Yeah.
5 is probably 500.
They were like, come on. Okay, so there's 2 things that go through my mind. Like when you talk about this kind of stuff, that short story, War of the Worlds, I don't know if you've read it before. I have. I do a lot of reading. For all you don't know, I am obsessed with books. I read too much. And then back to Phantasm, we talked about last week, the Sentinel Spheres. War of the Worlds started out as that, you know, a meteor comes to Earth. But if you've read that story, or if you've seen that terrible Tom Cruise movie, you didn't like that movie either, did you?
No, but it made me jump on the couch.
There was actually another movie like way back in the day that was way cooler, and it didn't have Tom Cruise in it. Not that we have a problem with Tom Cruise. I'm not saying that.
Tom Cruise is good. He's done some good stuff.
Yeah, it's just that movie was just not good, and he shouldn't have it on his, you know, videography. What is it? What is it called? The IMDb.
But it's overshadowed by Cocktail anyway. So.
Oh man. That's a really bad movie. Guys, we're not even going to suggest that. Don't even look that one up. You'll be wasting your time, trust me. It was dark, too. It's like they like made it look like it was going to be this like fun like Caribbean movie, and it's like so fucking dark.
Maybe you should go watch it.
Maybe you should go watch that. Yeah. Everybody knows.
There's a place called Kokomo.
That's where we wanna go.
To get away from it all. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, you guys gotta go. You should actually go watch that one.
We know way too many of those lyrics. Okay, so we know that the objects in War of the Worlds that crashed were not actual meteors, but their government actually researched it and found out. Ours did not care. So take that for what it is. There are even more instances of UFO spheres in our skies and seas. In 2019, a naval ship, USS Omaha, caught footage of spheres flying off the coast of San Diego and diving into the ocean a little closer to home. They are penetrating and incursions in our most restricted airspace around our nuclear weapons. This is something that the military is very interested in. Yeah, right. And they have been lying to the American people, stated UFO expert Jeremy Corbell in his best transatlantic accent. I'm just kidding. He doesn't have that. I just did that because, you know, whatever.
Because everything sounds better in a transatlantic
accent. It really does.
accent.
I'm actually going to adopt that in the future, and that's what the show's going to be, us doing transatlantic accents. And people used to talk like that.
Then it'll sound like a South Park episode. Hello, buddy.
We covered this topic in our song, in our video. If you haven't seen it, you should, and go listen to it. Fly Seraphim Wings. Specifically, the UFOs that are turning off nuclear weapons and flying ultra fast. Go Fast is a declassified UFO that was caught on video. And back 2015 again, here we hear about it in 2023, taken aboard a Navy fighter jet from the nuclear aircraft carrier USS Theodore Roosevelt near the Florida coast. And these things are flying at speeds that like defy modern physics. They're stopping in midair. Haven't you seen that before?
Yeah, all the time.
They go backwards. They dip into the ocean at a rate of speed that would like break apart any aircraft known of in existence.
We saw one. We were out on the border of Nevada and Arizona. We were at a it's when the serial killer was there. Remember that?
Yes, there was a serial killer. Oh my God, tell them the story about that.
So we were out. We were going stargazing. We like to do that out here. We pulled up to this truck stop,
and it was really dark, by the way. Like you couldn't even see your hand in front of you. It was really scary.
It's like kind of like maybe 20 minutes past where the Hoover Dam is.
And we're never going back there again, so don't even try to go and see if we're going to be there because there's no fucking way that you will ever get me back to this thing. It was like up on a cliff, like 100 billion feet above into nothing. If you fell off, you would just go into dust.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have been out that way, but there is not a street light or anything out there. So it is pitch black. You can see every star, every nebula.
It's beautiful, but it's scary.
Fireballs flying across the sky.
You got to go to like scary stuff to see the good stuff sometimes, you know?
Yeah. So we're there. And
those little chairs we have.
Yeah, we brought our little pop-out chairs.
We love our pop-out chairs. They're like $5 at Walmart down in like Arkansas.
Yeah, and they last forever.
So we had those. We pulled them out. We sat in this like little place where I guess cars would park to look at the scenic overview at a normal time at night, which is not our thing. We go at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, you got to go at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
So anyway, we look up and we see what appears to be just a bunch of stars in the sky, and
it was pretty.
Yeah, it was really pretty. Nice scenery.
There was nothing like abnormal or out of place. It was just a nice night. It was really nice.
Except for then one star just started erratically shaking all over the place.
Yeah, so it wasn't like that polarized or whatever is wobble that happens with stars, where if you see it because your eyes are a little like messed up, it looks like it's wobbling with the earth. It wasn't that. This was like a pendulum swinging.
Yeah. It would move. It would go up, down. It would move in like a triangular.
It was on a string or something.
Yeah.
Someone was hanging it and just kind of dangling it, and not that little wobble. This was like the kind of wobble where you have to start questioning things.
Yeah, and then it would just go still.
But that's not the worst part, because that's like the cool part. Then this guy pulls up in a van, and it's like filled to the brim with like crap. I don't know what it was in there. I'm not judging, whatever. But it was a little disconcerting. And he gets out and he steps on the ledge, which has no barrier. You could fall off the side and that's it. You're gone.
You just
You're
go
dead.
down a cliff.
So I get nervous and think this guy's suicidal and he's just going to drop off and we're going to be like witnesses to this thing. And I look at Nick and I'm like kicking him in the leg, like, what the fuck? Because this guy is like dangerously on the side.
So we're trying to keep one eye on him, one eye on the weird flying object up in the sky.
You can imagine. And then he like lays on the barrier. And it's not a barrier. It was like just like a cement, like little wall that you can like stand, but nothing's stopping
probably like
you from,
a 3 foot tall.
Yeah, nothing's stopping you from jumping over the side. He climbs up, lays on this thing. I'm like, what is this guy doing? He sees the UFO and says,
he goes,
hey, what's
whoa,
this shit?
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. And we're like, I don't know. Like, are you okay?
So
Do we
at
need
that
to
point,
talk
we're
about
like,
something?
okay, we're not crazy.
Okay. So this guy sees it. We're all just trying to figure it out. We're kind of talking, but he's like really strange. And he goes into his van and he starts digging around in the back. And this is after he was like kind of pacing. And I don't know, it was just very erratic. I was nervous. And when he gets in the van, I see him in the back with like a light and he's like digging stuff out. I'm thinking like, rope.
He kept like
gloves.
he kept going and digging in, and then he'd come back out.
So
and then
anyway,
dig back in and come back out.
I had enough. I've seen these movies. I said to Nick, let's get the fuck out of here. And he goes, okay. Because Nick doesn't question it. If I say let's get the fuck out of here, it means like,
it's time to go.
I'm not usually scared very easily by things. So we grabbed our little pop-up chairs. We threw them in the truck and we took off. We got in and
the whole time keeping an eye on the moving object in the sky.
And the guy who was potentially a serial killer. Like he could have literally tied us up and I don't know what he could have done to us. I don't want to know. But it sucks.
It's the middle of nowhere, like Route 66.
But it sucks because this alien thing was so fucked up and it was so cool. And like we did follow it a little bit.
Yeah, we followed it.
Yeah, by the Colorado River. We went down and we...
Yeah. And then we ended up at our secret spot that we won't
we're not
mention.
going to tell you where that is because you guys will definitely show up there and we go there more often. But
we have a secret UFO finding spot.
We saw some really weird stuff over there that night too.
Yeah.
And
we saw that one that just kept rising.
Oh yeah, so there was this little like it was so usually when you see a fireball out here, it's like a meteor and it's coming from like outside of the atmosphere and it comes down and it hits the ground, right? Or wherever it goes. This was rising from the ground up and it was a ball and it was just slowly rising and it was circling and turning orange and it was really crazy. Definitely not a firework that I've ever seen. No noise associated with it either.
No, nothing.
This was just really strange. And then there was that one thing that was coming towards us. Do you remember that? And we were like, is that like a person in a car? It was like Close Encounters of the Third Kind when he sees like the car behind him and he goes, nah, just go ahead. And then it like rises up and it's a UFO above his head.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that. It was like coming towards us. I thought it was kids on dirt bikes or maybe like somebody on in a Jeep or something. And then it like never appeared. It came towards us and then it just evaporated into nothing.
It's definitely some weird shit.
Yeah. Nick and I are like a magnet for this stuff, by the way.
We see it all the time.
If I wasn't enough of a magnet, you want to tell them about my EMF fucking problem? I have an electromagnetic frequency issue.
Whenever she gets around any sort of electronics, they just stop working.
So if you've been to one of our shows, you've probably seen us blow the show out on stage. That's my fault.
Yeah.
If I touch a light, it blows out. If I pick up a phone, it blows out.
Or she'll be like, Nick, is the internet off? And I'll be like, no, I'm on it right now. And all of her devices, her computer and her phone, everything
Nothing's
will just
working.
be off.
Lights flicker. Anything that I touch will like if it's electronic, it like goes, it frazzles. There's like a whole website about this. If you guys want to see it, let me know. And if you message me on at Hail Sagan Official on Instagram, I'll send it to you. It's pretty interesting. It's like sliders. We're called sliders with a capital L. We slide through like the multiverse, and it's like something to do with the electromagnetic field. And I guess I'm attached to that in some way because when I go near things, they explode and turn off and flicker. And like, if you hand me like, I don't know, any kind of like anything that has a battery in it or a signal.
Or even like when she walks by the stove, it'll turn on.
Yeah, the stove turns on.
The flame will turn on the top.
And what about those outside lights? Like when we're walking the dogs, the lights flicker off as I go down the fucking street. It's like a movie.
Yeah, it is like a movie.
I don't know. It's interesting. The fact that there are certain people that have an effect on the fields of the planet, like the ultramagnetic like fields of the planet. And there's a researcher in California that was researching at that. So for years they said that we didn't have any electromagnetic effect, humans didn't. And then these researchers found out that it was true, that we do. And not only can we affect electromagnetic fields, but they affect us. So there's all this like microscopic, invisible stuff happening in our reality that we're not always aware of, that we can affect or can affect us.
Yeah, it's like they call it the cooties, spider sense.
Cooties, like when the hair just kind of goes on your. Well, for me, when I was growing up, we were told cooties were the things that you got from someone that liked you.
And then when you're older, cooties are something that you get from someone that you don't want.
Oh, man. I don't know. For me, it was something that I kind of always noticed, but I didn't talk about. And then it wasn't until I met you that you started noticing it and saying, hey, wait a minute. Did you notice that? It's like that movie Firestarter, I can like do things. I can do things.
She walks in a different realm.
Yeah, I'm in another realm. I'm like a Lovecraft novel.
Remember that one time when we saw the guy in the park?
Oh, yeah. So I attract people. Like Nick could go anywhere in the whole world and just normal people will talk to him or no one at all. If I step outside from the barrier of my home into your guys' world, somebody really strange will approach me. And I met a leprechaun. He really was a leprechaun. It was just this guy that had leprechaun things happening and really cool socks.
I'm a leprechaun.
And he told me that. He goes, I'm your lucky leprechaun on, what was it, on... what's that day on March 17th?
Yeah, on St. Patrick's Day.
And
It's kind of like Mike Myers. I'm the leprechaun.
yeah, and Nick's like, why does this only happen when you go out? He goes, this doesn't happen to me when I go anywhere. And not just that guy, but like a whole bunch of different people.
I can go out all day, every day, and it'll just be normal.
Yeah,
the second
he
she
has
steps
no
out,
issue.
I'm the leprechaun.
Yeah, that's what happens to me. They like bombard me. I'm like a magnet. It's like when you take like moths to a flame. You know, I'm like a magnet for like weird and cool. I met
She's
some
a weird,
really,
cool magnet.
but I've met some really cool people too. Not just weird. And weird is good.
Weird is good.
So I'm not against it at all.
Yeah, I'm not either. Meanwhile, Sagan mentioned to us last week that she peed the bed.
Oh
What's
my
that
God.
all about? I'm changing the subject here.
Yeah, I had one of those dreams, you know, when you're in the bathroom and you find a toilet and you pee in your dream, but except I thought I was peeing in the toilet, but I peed in the bed. And Nick was so nice about it. He woke up and was like, get the plastic sheets, you know,
Yeah.
joking around.
I don't mind a little pee now and then.
Oh, really? It happened a few years ago and it hasn't happened again,
Yeah.
which sounds like you're disappointed because I make sure to pee before I go to bed now, which means that I'm adulting because before I wasn't. And, you know, I have really vivid dreams and they're so real, they'll trick me into peeing on myself. And it's like interesting. I have this recurring dream where I'm on a train platform and the ticket guy remembers me and it's so trippy. And there's this cobblestone walkway. I remember the streets. I remember like where I'm going and like where I have to get to. And I just like recently started lucid dreaming where you can control your dreams a bit. And I've been able to do that. And like sometimes I'll wake up and as soon as I realize I'm doing it, so I have to get better at it. But sometimes it goes on. And have you ever had any of those kind of like recurring dreams or lucid dreams? Because there's like a theory.
Yeah, I had one when I was younger. I was being chased by a scary monster. And then I all of a sudden just turned into a helicopter and flew off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're like what were you, like a transformer?
Kind of, yeah. I guess well, it was weird because my feet like folded backwards
Yeah.
into like the tail section.
Oh, that's
and then,
badass.
yeah. And then a propeller came out of my back.
I really
and
want
then
to
I
see
flew
that.
up.
Wait, did it come out of your back or did it come out of your butt?
No, it came out of my back.
Okay.
Might have been
Damn.
my butt. Who knows?
I was excited. I don't know why, because I don't even like butts.
A butt copter.
Butt copter. I love it. I love it. So, do you know about the theory about what dreams are? Like, have you ever heard about these theories about dreams being like glimpses of the multiverse? Does that like ring a bell to you?
Yeah, it's kind of like on Nightmare on Elm Street when the guy says they're mysteries, incredible body hocus pocus.
Hocus pocus.
Have you guys seen that scene?
Well, in the 80s, they had no fucking clue what anything was. And they still don't really know anything about the brain. There's a lot of really cool neuroscience out there where they're like, we're not sure. And that's it. Just like they don't care about what's in the ocean. No idea. But, you know, they're supposed to be these glimpses of the multiverse where like our energy travels out of our body while we're sleeping through these wormholes and they visit other worlds. And
like Star Trek.
I don't remember that episode. Like classic Star Trek? Or are we talking like...
Well, they visit other worlds and stuff.
Right, but they did it with their third dimensional human body. I'm talking about
well, they did do a wormhole. Remember when they
you.
wanted to go back in time and they had to go?
That is true.
They had to fly around the sun at warp speed. Yeah, with the killer with the humpback whales.
Was that was one of the movies? That wasn't the show. That was like 4,
I think it was
right?
4. Yeah, Star Trek 4.
Not the Search for Spock. That other one.
Yeah, Search for Spock was good. That
No.
one
There was that. There was the one in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Spock like does the death grip on the punk rocker on the bus because he's playing his music too loud on the boom bus.
Yeah.
And we're all like, yeah, even though we're like anti fuck the system, anti-establishment, but we're like rooting for Spock beating up the punk rocker. That was a good one. I like that one.
That was a great
Well,
movie.
you know, the other parts of your dreams are fragments of your memories being processed. That's the less like woo-woo, you know, explanation. But the other stuff really isn't woo-woo. It delves into quantum physics. And if you guys know anything about me, and Nick will tell you, I could monologue about quantum physics for the next 12 hours.
She did that once, and it went on.
It probably
for an
happened more
entire
than
day.
once.
Yeah, more than once.
I've been getting better at that, but no, quantum physics really it does delve into like subtle energies and it goes into the woo woo kind of like new age stuff. It's really interesting, and this is like real science. But we have energy inside of our body. It can't be created or destroyed. Kind of like, you know, the energy that's in your router for your computer. It's Wi-Fi. Well, where does it go when you smash your computer in a drunken rage. I don't know, but when you plug a new one in, it's still working. And so the idea is that energy leaves the body when you're sleeping, goes around the multiverse, does
Sometimes
its multiverse
it relieves
business.
in the form of pee.
Well, yeah. In my case, that one time. Well, that's not the only time that happened. Don't let me lead you guys down the wrong path to think I've never peed on myself when I sleep. This is just, it hasn't happened as an adult, or at least in a while. So that was like a surprise, because I did used to do that when I was a kid, have the toilet dreams. But now my toilet dreams are different.
I think a lot of people had toilet dreams.
But my toilet dreams are much different now. They're more like when I get into the toilet, there's no door on the stall and people are looking at me. So I'm like, I can't go. It's like my brain's way of
Sitting
telling
on
me,
the toilet.
Don't piss on yourself. Or like the toilet's like filled with toilet paper and I can't use it and the flusher's broken. And so like that's the mind's fail safe. And I don't know what went wrong the last time because it didn't save me. I peed everywhere.
You're going to get so many emails from people that like pee.
Oh my God. I got emails from last week's episode about the pee asking, and I said you have to wait till this week because I didn't even really want to talk about this. It just kind of came out, and now here we are.
It's a natural subject. People like to talk about pee.
I mean, I pee. I don't know what to say. I drink water and I piss, and sometimes it happens when I'm sleeping. I don't do it on purpose. I don't do it anymore, at least knock on wood. Now I'm going to fucking piss myself.
We're listening to Obscure Oasis, and we learned that everybody pees. That's what everyone's saying.
Pees. I don't know. I just feel like it's a normal thing. It's okay. And if it's not, you let me know, guys. Hopefully none of you are out there peeing your bed. And if so, write in and let me know so I don't feel alone. Because apparently Nick's never peed the bed. And
No.
At least you got the plastic sheets ready this time, though, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever put them on the bed?
I have them sitting on the side of the bed just in case. But
that's helpful.
That's
helpful.
That'll probably be the wrong time to do
That's
it after
helpful.
the bed is peed.
Yeah, I think you have to like protect the bed before I pee on it. Guys, I'm gonna try my best not to piss in the bed again. And one of the ways that you can remedy that is don't drink a lot of water before you go to sleep or use the toilet. And I don't know. Stuff like that. I can get a diaper.
Don't dream about peeing your pants.
I don't know why. I guess it's the body's way of saying wake up, but then something gets fucked up and you just don't wake up and you pee.
Diaper would be good.
I mean, the lucid dreaming practice, I think, will help a lot. And I've been doing a little more of that lately, just kind of telling myself, this is a really cool method if you guys want to try to lucid dream. So throughout the day, whenever you can remember or put like an app on your phone that has like one of those like, reminders, and you look at your hands and you see that they're normal and you say to yourself, I'm not dreaming, my hands are normal. And you do it so many times that it becomes embedded into your subconscious so that when you finally do go to sleep, you are still doing it because it becomes a habit. And then you look at your hands in your dream and they're all wiggly and fucked up and weird. And it actually really works. If you do it enough times, this will happen. And that's how you realize you're dreaming. And then
it also is how you realize that you're on an acid trip.
Well, I don't do any acid, at least not anymore. But we'll talk about that another time. As you guys can see, I'm fast enough, like without any substances. I don't need any kind of fucking substance.
Life is our substance.
Yeah, like just being on this planet is a
EMFs
substance.
are our substance.
EMF, multiverse, dreaming, lucid dreaming. Just
looking on the FBI website.
Oh, CIA.gov.
CIA,
Y'all are
that's
fucking missing out if you're not looking at that website. It's free and it's filled with so much crazy shit that no one looks at because everybody's on TikTok watching videos. The CIA.gov has stuff that will blow your mind, and
they
it
just
looks
fly
like it's
it
not
right
even
under
real.
the radar.
Yeah, they just put it out there. They're like, yeah, here you go, but we know no one's gonna fucking read it. So cool. It's like that whole like if we say it out loud, then it's not so bad kind of shit. And I've read some really interesting things on there.
Yeah, they even have stuff like how to stare at a goat and make it explode.
That's true. Well, it's sort of true. If you dig into it, you'll find out that that's like a thing. And that's where our tax dollars go, actually. So it's pretty cool.
Totally is, yeah.
Up next, we're going to share an obscure movie recommendation from our personal collection.
But before that, we're going to listen to Typo Negative, Blitz Kid, one of my personal favorites, Blood Simple, and The Plasmatics.
A heavy mix of cool rock and metal, punk and weird.
Yeah, so here we go. Up next is Typo Negative.
This is the last time
listening to Obscure Oasis with Sagan and Nick.
Welcome back, Ghosts and Ghouls. We just listened to My Girlfriend's Girlfriend by Typo Negative, Salem's Ghost by Blitzkid. Thank you to Jesse Woodward for requesting the band. This song is an old favorite. And happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Jesse.
Sell Me Out by Blood Simple and The Damned by Plasmatics. If you guys listened to last week's episode, you know about my DVD collection. And
She's got a lot.
And if you didn't listen and you don't know, then you should go listen because we talked about a really cool movie last week. But now we're going to talk about a new one. And Nick and I are always looking for new movies. And by new, we mean we haven't seen them before. And we prefer the old ones, like from 50s all the way up to the 90s. That's where we usually cut
really
it
good.
off. We make an exception for a couple in the 2000s, but the new ones I don't like.
Yeah, there's a few pretty good ones in the 2000s.
However, we will consider new movies if they're good. But our version of good, what do we give it, like a 10-minute mark? And if it sucks, we turn it off.
Yeah.
So if it's
And
not
there
good,
usually
like,
has to be like boobs within the first 5
yeah.
minutes.
So if we notice there's boobs, like full-on boobs, nipples, everything, then Nick goes, okay, we got boobs. And then
we can watch like 5 minutes more.
Yeah, you can give an extra 5 minutes if there's boobs. And if there's no boobs, then we only give it 10 minutes. So you get
And
about
then
15 minutes.
by the 10-minute mark, there has to be blood
Sometimes.
or something like sometimes.
I'm not a fan of the blood as much. I'm more into
Well, this is like horror movie criteria we're
I'm
talking
more
about.
into like, it has to be decent acting. If the acting is
Yeah,
horrible.
acting has to be a
Although
good.
there's some movies where the acting is really cheesy and it's acceptable. It's just there's a fine line.
But even though it's cheesy acting, it can still be good acting.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a fine line, but then there's like bad acting.
Like even-
so yeah, cheesy acting versus bad acting.
Like the movie we're going to talk about tonight.
Okay, so this week we're recommending a movie called, well,
The movie's called Count Yorga Vampire.
yes, we love vampire movies, right? So they've always had a special place in my collection. I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but it's like,
Well, you got really great ones like The Lost Boys.
oh my god, I love that movie.
Probably the best movie ever.
Oh, Near Dark,
Near Dark.
which we'll probably cover eventually.
That's like
on
the
here.
GoBot version of the Lost Boys.
Well, this one's extra hilarious, and I don't think it's meant to be. The main vampire is the quintessential cape-wearing bloodsucker, like the Halloween vampire, you know? And my favorite part of this is Count Yorga's castle, because he had such a great decorator back then.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He did need to tone down that crayon red color, though. It was like so bright, and we prefer the blood red in our decor. We're sitting in a blood red room right now.
Yes.
So
But that's like the colors of, what was that, the 70s that came out?
I didn't
60s?
even
Late
make
60s?
note of it. I think it was like late 60s, early 70s.
That's they like
Sorry,
those
guys. I didn't do my job and
Yeah.
write down the date, but you can look it up.
Yeah, those were like those colors. They didn't use muted colors
no,
back
they
then.
didn't, and they paired it with green, which was a little off.
Like
but I
that
like
pea green?
Yeah, but I like the way that they decorated. I don't know, it was kind of creepy, but not in a like super scary way, but in a like 70s someone gave you acid in your drink kind of way.
Yeah.
You know? So anyway, the synopsis reads, a couple invites a count from Hungary who recently immigrated to America to conduct a seance for the woman's recently deceased mother, oblivious to the fact that he is actually a vampire. And the seance scene is like unintentionally funny. Do you remember? I think they were being serious.
Yeah.
But I found myself laughing at it because it was like, because the vampire was getting pissed off because no one was taking him seriously. He wanted
Yeah.
to be like a really serious guy. And these hippies or whatever they were, no, they were more like mob.
They weren't.
like,
They thought it was fake.
yeah, they didn't believe it.
And he was all pissed
but
off
don't give it a
because-
whole bunch away though, because
Yeah, we don't
Well-
want to give out. We don't want to spoil too much.
so. What was your favorite scene without being a plot spoiler?
My favorite thing about the movie, not necessarily a scene, is just how Count Yorga runs. He runs with his arms fully extended in front of him and his mouth out, exposing his fangs.
Which are really bad fangs.
And he'll just run at you like that.
Yeah.
Like completely off guard. Like
And
you
in
could,
slow motion sometimes,
yeah,
too.
sometimes in slow motion. And he has like a cheesy like Halloween vampire cape.
Yeah.
And it flows behind him.
But the movie's good.
The movie is great.
That's what's weird about it is the movie's really good. And I don't know. I think it stands out that it's kind of weird and cheesy, but good at the same time. Once again, goes to that theme that we like where it's bad, good.
Bad good.
Not
yes.
bad, good.
We like bad good movies.
We like bad, good. So,
They're pretty awesome.
But But, you know, we had so much fun tonight, and I can't wait until next time.
Yeah, thanks again to Gunn Music Radio for hosting us, and thank you to our fans and listeners for tuning in.
And don't forget to come back next Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern for another episode of Two Wackos in the Desert. I mean, Obscure Oasis.
We're going to leave you now with one of our personal favorites, I Still Believe by Tim Capello. Here we go. See you next time.
But I still believe through the pain, through the grief, through the light, through the storms, through the cries, through the wars. Oh, I still believe. Still believe. Don't cover me till you're tossed on the waves. When the darkness comes, feel the breeze. But I still believe through the cold, through the heat, through the rain, through the tears, through the crowds, through the cheers. Like I wanna go home. What do I feel? What do I know? But I still believe. Yes, I still believe.